Well, Sakina, the situation seemingly under control now. More police have been brought in to the Empire Road entrance that you spoke about. That was where students aligned to the EFF Student Command had been protesting this morning, blocking off the entrance, sitting on in front of the entrance, not allowing cars to come in and out of the premises here at Wits University. That's when the scuffle broke out between the security here at the university as well as the protesting students. The situation, as you can see behind me, a bit calm right now. Some of the students also managing to go through this entrance here. We're yet to hear from Wits University this morning on what the latest update is. You would recall that the visuals, I'm hoping you have those on screen at this particular time, Sakina. A bit earlier on, we saw those scuffles taking place between the security at the university as well as the EFF Student Command. They're basically saying they want their issues to be addressed. You would know that some of the sentiment that has been shared by the students is that those that owe 150,000 Rand and less should be allowed to register. That's one of the demands. Some of the other demands relate to accommodation, saying that the 10,000 Rand upfront payment for residences, that should be waived, as well as the 45,000 Rand cap by NSFAS on accommodation. That should be scrapped, basically saying that 45,000 Rand is simply not enough. And at the University of Johannesburg, you would recall, there were also scuffles yesterday. I beg your pardon. Students, they're basically saying, Sakina, I beg your pardon, that there have been issues at the university of a lack of water. And that has been for the past 3 weeks at this stage. And they've also indicated that you would know that around the Auckland Park area, the SABC also being affected by that. Reservoirs have not been able to pump water enough due to ongoing load shedding. Students say they've been going to school without bathing. And in addition to that, at the University of Johannesburg, they say that NSFAS allowances have not been paid since students moved into their residences. This was in January, and they say that students are now going to classes without bathing as a result of the water interruptions. They want the university to do more to assist in that regard. They say to compound that, since January, when these students had moved into the residences, the NSFAS allowances have not been paid. They're not eating when they're going to some of these lectures. So that is the issue at the University of Johannesburg. We've not heard anything pertaining to what will take place there this morning. But here at Wits University, those scuffles that we saw a bit earlier on this morning, the university has also indicated it's not going to condone any violence that has taken place. Yesterday, of course, you saw some of the protests take a violent shape. Out here in Braamfontein, some of the bins here on the side of the road were toppled, and the university says that it has suspended or issued suspension letters to some of the students believed to have been involved in what had taken place there. We'll hear from the university this morning what the latest update is regarding that. We are not allowed to move beyond where we are at this point, Sakina. You would have seen a bit earlier on when students wanted to show us what was taking place on the campus itself. You'd know that we're only relying at this stage on Wits University, who is telling us that, the classes had been minimally disrupted. So we'll hear from them this morning as well with regard to, what the current status is, whether classes are disrupted, whether, they are going ahead at this time, what is the extent of the disruption, and how many more students have been issued with suspension letters, and how they plan to move forward in terms of talks with these students. You recall they mentioned when it comes to the issue of accommodation, they said they had made available 350 emergency beds to try and address the situation, but students say that's simply not enough.